Hi everyone, my name is Dominique Holmes and I'm the Public Information Officer for Hernando County Government. Thank you all so much for joining us today on this beautiful Thursday morning to honor the late Gary Schraut. This morning we would like to start off this ceremony with an invocation. May I please have Commissioner Donalaco to the podium.
Good morning and thank you for coming. First I'd like to thank the Lord for this beautiful day and this opportunity to remember Gary. I was trying to come up with a verse out of the Bible that would be appropriate, being that we're renaming a tower here, and went to Proverbs 3, verses 5 and 6, and it says, "Trust in the Lord with all thine heart, and lead not unto thine own understanding. In all thy ways acknowledge him, and he shall direct thy paths." Lord, as we gather today to rename the tower behind me, Lord, after Gary Schraut, Lord, I want to thank you for the blessings that you've bestowed on each one of us and the way you've directed our paths. And Lord, I just ask that this tower continue to direct the paths of airplanes that come to and from this airport, Lord, and when they do, that they would remember the memory of the man who worked so hard to make sure it found its way here to Brooksville-Tampa Bay Regional Airport, Lord. And I ask all this in your name, Jesus Christ. Amen.
Yeah, let's all stand, please, if you're not already. Gary he loved our country, he loved our county, and he certainly loved this airport. And so as we say a pledge to the flag, let's remember that we are one nation under God and we are indivisible. Okay, say it with me. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rockets regular, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say, does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave?
It is an honor to be here with you today to celebrate the life and legacy of a true public servant, Gary Schraut. It is such a fitting tribute to name this airport, the control tower at least, after Gary, given the fact that he worked tirelessly to promote, develop, and expand the airport's infrastructure because he understood the economic potential that could be harnessed through the critical community. It is a critical community asset. It was my honor and privilege to build upon Gary's efforts by securing an additional $1.76 million for the Brooksville-Tampa Bay Regional Airport in this year's budget. It will be used for wildlife fencing and gate management. I will continue to do all I can to help enhance this important resource. I also recently had the opportunity to enter an extension of remarks into the congressional record to commemorate the impact of Gary's service to this community. I'd like to read it now and present it to his fiancée, Jody Shim. Jody, would you please come up? Okay, Jody, please, thank you. I'm so sorry for your loss. Again, thank you for inviting me today, and may Gary Schraut's memory be eternal. So now I would like to read this into the congressional record. I've already have, but we'll do it again. And again, this is part of U.S. history, and he certainly deserves this. Mr. Speaker, I rise today to recognize and honor the unique contributions made to Hernando County by Gary E. Schraut. For the better part of 3 decades, Gary worked tirelessly to promote, develop, and expand the infrastructure at the Brooksville-Tampa Bay Regional Airport and Technology Center. Under his leadership as Aviation Authority Chairman, the airport twice earned statewide recognition as General Aviation Airport of the Year. Really incredible. Gary was instrumental in securing support for a number of airport projects, including Airport Fire Station, ILS Landing System, the National Guard Helicopter Unit, and the Airport Control Tower, which will be named after him. To secure these improvements, Gary engaged in countless hours of lobbying at the federal and state levels. Obviously, he was very successful at it. Gary also helped garner community support for this extremely important facility, Mr. Speaker. Because of his efforts, the tower has become an intrinsic and vital support system for quickly expanding airside operations and commerce. Upon Gary's recent passing, the Hernando County Commission renamed the airport control tower in his honor. So very deserving. It is clear that Gary E. Schraut has made a profoundly positive impact on our community, and I'm grateful for his lifetime of service. Thank you, and I yield back, Mr. Speaker. I'd like to present this to you, gentlemen. Thanks for giving this the honor of doing it. Thank you.
Good morning, everyone. I just wanted to get up here just to honor Gary. He was more than just a realtor, more than just a developer. He was a friend and truly a mentor to many of us commissioners and people in this community, where he came to us regularly just to talk about life and to help us learn more about this county. His love and passion for this county went far beyond what you could see looking at the man. But he truly, truly put his heart into everything he did here because his heart was with Hernando. So I just wanted to get up to say that today I'm proud to honor him with the naming of this tower in his honor, and thank all of you for being here today. God bless.
So the Gary Schraut that many people in the community knew was a flamboyant guy. He really was. He was loud at times, especially when he was out there promoting things that he thought were right in the community, because he loved Hernando County and he wanted Hernando County to be the best it could be, especially when it had to do with this airport. I mean, he was vocal, and it's important when you believe in something that you get your word out. But what I really came to cherish about Gary in our personal conversations is that when he gave from himself, he liked to do it anonymously, or he wanted to do it very quietly, because he didn't want the credit for that. So he was loud when it was important for the community, but when it came from himself, he was quiet about it. And I think that this renaming of the control tower after Gary, it's the right thing to do, because when you have humility, when you do things from yourself, it's important for the community to eventually know that you were a giver. And I miss Gary every day. I miss talking to him about the future of Hernando County and the past, and where we're, what hopefully will be for our children, grandchildren, great-grandchildren along the way. But his name will be remembered here in Hernando County and at this airport. And I thank the rest of the board for approving this, and I thank Dave Russell for coming forth and requesting it. God bless you.
First off, I know we have talented people in our county, but Rebecca, that was amazing. We might have to have her sing that at one of our meetings or something, so great job. So I'm going to start with two hats. There's two hats I have in the county. Obviously, as a county commissioner, Gary Schraut was irreplaceable. And his passion for this county, he was a patriot. He loved this place. He loved the business community, and most importantly, he loved this airport. And this is fitting to name this tower after him today. So thank you all for being here for that. The second hat is the friendship he gave me. You know, I talk to Gary every single day, and he filled me in, and a lot of times he would talk me down off the ledge. And believe it or not, and that's Gary, the loud Gary that Commissioner Lockwood just talked about. He was the one calming me down, so you figure that out. But I miss that every day, and I feel for Jody and her family and his son that's here today. But this is a positive thing. We're going to have Gary Schraut's name on this tower, and he's going to be remembered forever for all of his contributions to Hernando County. So thank you all for being here, and look forward to seeing it. Thank you.
Good morning. You know, this is so cool. It really is. You know, we may be formalizing things today, naming the tower for Gary Schraut. But let me tell you something, folks. It's always been Schraut Tower. And I'm going to get into that in just a minute. Merriam-Webster defines dauntless as incapable of being intimidated or subdued. And I think people that knew Gary would agree there are a few adjectives that would better describe his approach to obtaining goals. Gary was a true visionary. He had a gift for accurately predicting and directing growth. And over again, our airport was the beneficiary of his gift. Gary envisioned having an operating control tower decades ago. And over the years, he lobbied, he twisted arms, he built strong community support to make this happen. And around 12 years ago, DOT funding in place, DOT, thank you. DOT funding in place, we broke ground on the facility you see before you. Now, there were some concerns from people in the community, myself included, that we wouldn't be able to meet the mandated numbers in order to have a successful FAA contract control tower. You have to have so many operations. And I'm not saying that we ever fudge numbers. Lord, no, we'd never fudge numbers. I would say there may have been some numerological creativity involved in determining the outcome here. That brings us to Schraut Tower. And I'll tell you, it's about 12 years ago, we were out here in this very spot breaking ground. And amongst all the hoopla and fanfare, I walked over to Gary and I took him off to the side. And I made him a promise. I said, Gary, if we don't meet our numbers and the FAA jerks our ticket and pulls our controllers out, which, by the way, is worth about $500,000 a year, and they shut us down, I'm going to drag a ladder out here and take a can of spray paint and paint your name on the damn thing. So I'm happy to say that didn't have to happen, obviously. But there were a couple of years when the numbers just kind of squeaked by. As a matter of fact, one year we were late getting our numbers in and they let us slide on it. But the St. Pete Times had an article in the newspaper about, as Dan DeWitt wrote it, I think, about how, you know, we weren't really making the numbers, but we should really keep the tower. And I called Gary up that morning and I said, Gary, did you see Dan DeWitt's column? He said, yeah. And I said, well, I said two things. One, it's the first time I think you've ever agreed with something Dan DeWitt said. And I said, secondly, I said, it's OSHA red, just for your knowledge. One more time, bud, and I'm getting that ladder out. Fast forward today, this tower has become, as Gary had envisioned, a great success story exceeding all expectations. And as for the paint can deal, Gary got the last word in. Here's a screenshot of the last text I got from Gary when he found out the commission would be renaming the tower. It's October 12th. Thumbs up, smiley face with a halo, Schraut Tower. Now, thumbs up, smiley face with a halo on a Schraut Tower. I'm going to interpret that in essence saying, Russell, you can stick your paint can where heaven don't shine. So with that, Jody's going to get up and say a few words. I believe the plaque Jody's going to unveil for us this morning is a very fitting and far more appropriate tribute to this dauntless visionary. Thank you.
Good morning. My name is Jody Shin, and I was Gary Schraut's life partner of 30 years. When Morris Porton called me about attending today, he also invited me to say a few words, for which I immediately declined. What could I say about Gary that hasn't been said, whether it's today or over the years? After I thought about it, what would Gary want me to say? What would he want you to know? So over the last 6 months, as I've been working my way through closets in our home and the many boxes stacked in the corners of my garage, I am reminded every day that here is a man who showed up on the scene some 40 years ago and wasn't easily accepted. He had a pushy, sometimes brash style about him, but there was good people who recognized the quality in him that if you want to get something done, give it to Gary Schraut to do. So, as I'm still going through literally hundreds of plaques and letters of recognition, I am reminded daily of special people who come into this world and into our lives that are doers. Many, like Gary, are volunteers, and thankfully there are people who choose to make a difference, people who choose to care, and people who choose to make the sacrifices for the best interest of others. When Gary began on the Aviation Authority, somewhere around the mid-90s, he recognized a diamond in the rough and an underutilized gem and its potential. And over 20-something years, he proceeded to bring about as much change, improvements, and good to this air park as any one person could do. But what I believe he would want me to say and you to know is it wasn't him, it was the team of thinkers, visionaries, and doers. When you look at the plaque, know it's a representation of you. It may have his name on it, but it is all of you who worked with him and believed in him, and he believed in this county. It was the team that brought about the changes and the team that brought about these improvements. And know when you leave this world, you are leaving it a better place. And I say thank you from Gary to the team. And God bless you.
It's now time to go ahead and unveil the sign. Really awesome. We're excited about this sign. We want you guys all to see it. So I'm going to count down from 3. 3, 2, 1.